Hello, chat. I haven't unmuted Discord yet, but now I have. Welcome back to Just Joshin. Welcome to episode 5. Sorry about that. No episode last week, but I was celebrating a little in a half anniversary with Tamara, and it was like Panda Game weekend. Everybody was out partying and
celebrate your anniversary in halves.
Yeah, well, it makes sense when it's like you're only been dating for a year and a half. Like, you know, a year and a half is like worth mentioning, but probably won't be a thing after 2.5 years with it.
It's my 2-month anniversary, guys.
No, you just have half of the anniversary one day and then half of the anniversary the other day, so you don't have to do as much.
My Spotify just crashed.
That's how it works, right?
Yeah.
I thought Spotify crashed it.
Ease the workload just a little bit.
Yeah, see, it's different though, Rowley. Last time on Just Josh in episode 1, I played GTA Story Mode. This is GTA Online. It's not the same. But yeah, so our special guests tonight are Bink and Tim. Brennan and
Hello.
Tim.
As expected.
And that may allude to the subject. What common ground do the three of us have?
Well, we're all idiots.
FALLINGBROOK.
Yes, sir, Fallingbrook.
FALLINGBROOK and the ridiculous shit that went on there.
That's what we
Too many ridiculous things.
For about an hour, hopefully, we can fill with with content. There's probably more than an hour worth of content.
It's like it's a podcast special, is what it is. Like 3 hours later.
Yeah, you could talk about Fallingbrook for forever.
Well,
yeah,
the most minute things.
Which car should I drive? Yeah, I like asking you guys. Chat, let's pick a car. Which one do you want me to drive? We got a nice lineup here. We got
out here. What the hell?
The Deluxo. We got this white Porsche looking thing. And we got this old Ferrari coupe
I think
car.
the update might have fucked my spawn.
We got this yellow one.
Yep.
We got this armored car. We got that thing that I'm not letting you guys pick that. We got a blue car. That was like my first one. We got this red car. That was like my second one. We got this black Lamborghini. All right, Jordan says yellow, so. We are absolutely not letting Rowley in here.
Nope.
That's the worst idea ever.
No possible chance.
I see Rowley is cool is now online.
Yeah. For one, because he'd be annoying.
Dude, this is an
for
episode.
2, because I'd probably spend the entire time killing him.
We can spend actual time playing GTA later.
Yeah.
It's not a problem, but like we're just episoding.
Hi, Tamara. I saw that you texted me, but I haven't opened it. I'm preoccupied.
Preoccupied with Overwatch. Quick play, let's go. Sweaty Zenyatta comes.
Yeah, so Tamara, you missed it, but today's subject is Fallingbrook, our lovely childhood.
The old stomping grounds.
Home of 10 years for me.
Broken backs, windows, and other things.
10 years for me, 8 for Brendan, and 6
what's
years
grade
for
4
Tim.
to 8? 4?
4 years?
I think it was 4.
I was only 7, actually.
You came in grade 1, I thought.
Yeah,
oh yeah, you left
my
before grade 8, though. You left before grade 8. Forgot about that. Yeah, I can't believe sometimes that I spent 10 years of my life at that school. That's kind of bonkers to me. Like, sometimes I'll have dreams. I still dream about being at Fallingbrook, but I almost never dream about Sir Will. I don't think maybe like once, but almost never. I've dreamt about being at Carlton, but that's because it's like current, you know.
Yeah.
You guys
I dreamt about being in the French corridor, like the French hallway.
In the French stairwell, bro.
Yeah.
No, we're not allowed to talk about Sir Will. This is Fallingbrook's time to shine.
Okay.
We can dabble into Sir Will if we have to make more sense. That place was like a horror show on its own.
Oh yeah, Tim Samara says you did 5 years because 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8.
Sounds like prison time. You did 5
Yeah,
years.
you did 5 years in the hole.
Fair enough. I guess I did do 5 years.
JKSK 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 10 years.
Yeah.
I mean,
No,
Yeah.
I was one antisocial motherfucker before grade 4.
who were the first people you talked to? I don't remember. It was me, right?
It was you and Amin.
Yeah.
I basically told them to F off, and I was like, hey, you want to be my friend?
I had like similar stuff. Like I remember in like grade 3 is when Amin first showed up at Fallingbrook, and like he and I would clash, but then like the next day, because we're boys, we'd be like, hey buddy. It would not last more
Almost
than a
everyone
day.
got into a fight with him on like a semi-regular
Like,
basis.
yeah, no, literally, like, we had, like, a huge fight. We're like, you're not my friend anymore. Literally, next day at school, it's just like nothing happened.
Most tenacious group of idiots to ever show up to an elementary school.
Oh, it's just talk about Andy. Oh, Andy has his own, like, volume in the.
This is one of those
the
times where
Fallingbrook lore.
that's one of those times we'd have to dabble into Sir Will like a little bit just to like end off the story of Andy.
The conclusion, bro, the grand finale was that's at Sir Will.
Yeah,
So
I
where do we
barely
start?
paid attention to him until like what, grade 8? It was like grade 8 when shit started going down, right?
Probably. I wasn't there for grade 8. Don't look at me.
Yeah, I feel like he like started getting annoying around grade 8, and that was when I started noticing. But like,
Yeah.
So for reference chat, Andy was just some kid in the English class, because all of us were in the French class always. Fallingbrook was very much divided into the French and the English.
The French fries and the English muffins.
Basically, yeah, I forgot about that actually.
Do I
That
recall?
nickname. But we were a very small school. Like our graduating class by grade 8 was, I think, 10 people in the French stream, and I think maybe 12 or 13 in English.
yeah, it was really small.
It's a small group.
Andy was somebody in the English class who just nobody liked, and we're not just talking about like this wasn't like I don't want to say it like no, it wasn't bullying because he was a dick. He was just mean.
It wasn't like Amin levels of like, oh, we just don't like that guy because he's like kind of annoying sometimes. No, like nobody likes this guy at all.
No, we love Amin.
Yeah,
Andy.
of course we did, but like we had our days where like, fuck that guy. But Andy was just a constant stream of fuck that guy specifically.
Andy was just always like getting on people's nerves. Like he would just say like really like just mean things about people. And there was just one day where like everything went down. And, like the entire grade and grade below kind of like gave him what was coming to him.
Yeah, honestly, I really should have seen it coming because he was like being weird like a couple days before. I remember he like tried to hit me with a football.
Yeah.
Just like randomly. It was like a recess, and he threw a football like max speed at my stomach. Of course.
Was it Andy who threw like a snowball with rocks in it at a Min's head and gave him like permanent tinnitus, or was that? I think that was Andy, or maybe it was Alex. I don't know.
I don't remember.
But that happened. That's something that happened at
Yeah.
Fallingbrook.
But of course, Andy, being the smartest kid around, should have realized that Tim was not the ideal target to throw things at.
Like Andy had this like
stomach like.
Yeah,
If
Andy
you
just
have
had this like
abs, it just
stupid
glances
joke.
off. Anyways.
If you remember Andy,
Yeah.
he had this stupid joke that he like used all the time. He would say if somebody was like, I think Tim went AFK for too long or something.
Oh, I wasn't AFK for that long.
It's GTA.
It's GTA
Of course,
Online.
GTA.
All recent.
But like, yeah. So if Andy was like, I don't even know why. He would just make the joke sometimes. If somebody like did something stupid, he would be like, "Oh, you have partial Down syndrome."
Oh.
He's like, "Oh yeah, you have
Oh, shit,
you have
wait, no,
PDS.
no,
PDS, guys. Huh? Funny, right? You have PDS." And it was never funny. Like nobody ever laughed at it.
Yeah.
It was the same as Amin, and it was like what are you smoking remark. Like it was like I feel like it was derived off of that.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
it was the
nice.
same
So
kind of
sick.
stupid remark that like just wasn't funny, but they kept repeating it over and over.
Now I remember why he threw the football at me. You remember 5 stars?
Oh yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah, I had gotten him really good, like, before gym. And
I love
he
how
was-
Min keeps coming up, but
I-
you got a Min really
Yeah.
bad too.
Oh, I got him in worse than anyone.
him got like everyone good.
And no one wanted to try me.
Exactly, it's just free reign.
We were afraid of the wrath. Because it's like courtesy, you know, if you 5-star somebody, they can 5-star you
I
back.
think I like struck a deal with Tim. Like, we got no problems here. We're good.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
Tim, you never got me, 'cause we were like, I have
The
no
three of
quarrel
us were
with
like,
you.
no.
I don't think I ever got 5-starred in my years at Fallingbrook. But
I
Tim,
don't
Tim would
remember
get
if I
everything.
did.
Like, because it was like grade 7 and 8 gym class. They had like actually put us in the gym change room. They actually used that thing.
That thing was used.
Yeah, we used the gym change rooms, and like it was a war
Yeah.
zone. Like Aiden and I would pick a spot in the back corner with our head like just backs to the walls, because if you didn't, because there was like, if you remember, it was like a U-shaped bench, and part of
Yeah.
it would
Oh,
stick
yeah,
into the
no, we
middle of
used
the
them.
room. If you
It
were
was
on like
really
that,
dim in there for whatever
Yeah.
reason, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
if you used the middle bench, you were just in like it was like no man's land, bro.
were
Somebody
in
could come
danger.
up from behind and just get you. And one day, Amin used that one. Tim like jumps up on the bench, and as he's coming down, brings his hand down with like the force of 5 million anvils onto Amin's back, and just. And it's like a really echoey room in there. It's like an echo chamber, so it's just the loudest sound ever.
Jesus
Amin
Christ.
just cries out. Actually has tears in his eyes. And he had like a red hand mark on his back
It
for
wasn't
days.
just, it wasn't just the hand, it was like hand in half of my arm.
Yeah. He just like brought down the Thor's hammer onto his back, bro. That was the worst one anyone had ever gotten. But back to Andy. The day that Andy got what was coming to him, so it was like
Oh,
this
man.
was what, like March or
Fuck, yeah, I don't
something.
have
Like
a guest list.
Yeah.
there was snow on the ground still. Like I don't know if it was
Yeah.
midwinter or late winter, but Andy was like, did he like challenge someone to a fight or something?
It was Lachlan. He challenged Lachlan.
Oh yeah, Andy, the smartest guy in the class,
Yeah.
challenges the kid who's a year older than us.
So yeah, Lachlan, for reference, was like a 2001 kid because he was born in like December or
PEI
something.
or no
And
PEI or like
he was
Brunswick
born
or
in a
something.
different. He went through like a different school system, and he was old. Like he was late 2001, but he was older than everyone. And this kid was tall. Like in grade 8, he was already like 6 foot.
Not
Yeah.
intelligent but tall.
And Andy was like, "I want to fight you in the playground."
And it was over Lena, wasn't it?
I think it was over the girl that they both like. Well, yeah, that they both liked.
Everyone got a jab in him over Lena. I know that much.
I don't remember. So what was the order? There were 4 different like.
It was him, then me, then Damian Robinson.
Oh yeah, fun fact. Lachlan was Julian's reading buddy when Julian was in like grade 1 or kindergarten or something.
Ah.
If Lachlan's like in the military now or something.
That
Probably.
is entirely expected.
It's like saying
could-
Raceland in the military now. It's like, yeah.
But so what happened first? It was Lachlan
It was-
first?
Lachlan just I forget what Lachlan did, but then Andy was mad and he I didn't see this part of it, but he started arguing with him and then ended up putting him in a headlock.
Oh yeah, so he went after
then-
Amin.
And then
Again, smart.
I
round.
come in because this was like in a little grass path, like right.
Yeah, it's like the little glass.
Like,
yeah, like
hidden
between
by
the
trees.
trees and the bricks. Like
Mhm.
it's the left side is like the brick wall, and the right side is like just some bushes and
Yeah.
shrubs and trees. And people
I
would cut
think I
through
know-
there instead of
Oh,
walking
like,
around
oh,
the path.
yes.
Yeah, right by
yes.
the front doors, like just before the flagpole. like just around
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah, so I'm just coming out for recess because the whole thing with Lachlan happened really fast. And I see Amin in a headlock and Andy. I'm like, no, fuck you. I put Andy in a headlock, and of course I'm stronger than him. So
Turns into a human centipede headlock train.
So he lets go of Amin, but then I don't know, in desperation or just trying to hurt me, he tries to bash me into the wall, like with his body.
Yeah, you ended up slamming him against the bricks.
I pushed off of him to stop myself from slamming against the wall, and then he slammed into the wall because of it, and just went straight down.
Yeah, for first Lachlan,
like, it was like a solid like 3 minutes. He was just on the ground, and we're like,
yeah, bro just lay there taking it in, and then who was it? So it was Lachlan, then Tim.
Looked at me, kicked me in the balls, and then just left when I didn't have a reaction.
And then who was the third person to go after him?
It was Damien
Robinson? I thought he was the last one.
That was the worst. I think. Well, I mean, he probably got head trauma from what I did, but
yeah, the Damien Robinson. Damien literally did like the John Cena RKO. He picked him up, flipped him over with his arms, and just slammed him down flat on the the snow on the playground, just flat like on the concrete too. Like it was like maybe like a 1 centimeter layer of snow.
Yeah, and he just.
And he pretty much lay there for the rest of recess. Like,
yeah.
He accepted defeat at that point.
Yeah.
And after that, he kind of like mellowed out, at least until high school.
Yeah.
He learned his lesson. Stop
repeated
stop
offenses.
being an asshole.
He didn't learn it well enough. He learned it for 6 months at best.
I mean, that's more than some people's memory.
We have some other excellent physical injury stories from from
like
Fallingbrook.
the time I fought a tree and won.
And the tree got cut down.
So the story was, we were just, it was again the middle of winter, typical Canada, snow like probably like 2 feet deep.
Like, I don't think it was the middle of winter. It was like November.
No, it was like midwinter. Because there was a lot of snow on the ground.
Yeah, there was a lot of snow.
We were like, we decided to have a race, but like we were trudging through snow. Like it was like thick snow. It had snowed like the day before or something. And it was we did like, I don't know exactly what the race course was, but it ended at these 2 trees that were just by the end of the playground. At the baseball diamond. No idea why
those trees were there. There was just 2 trees in the middle of the open.
Yeah, there were just a couple of red pines, and they had a bunch of really low-hanging branches. But that was our endpoint, because you could kind of just run between the 2 trees like a goalpost and like call it the finish line.
It was our soccer goalpost if we didn't have enough cones.
So we were racing. I think Tim, like I was just behind Tim. It was like the 2 of us were in the lead. And was it you who finished first or me?
I finished first, and I was really excited because I won.
Yeah, so Tim finishes first. And without really realizing it, just runs headfirst into a tree branch. Like one of these low-hanging branches. And I come up behind him, because I saw it all happen. I was right behind him. And I'm like, I noticed right away, he starts bleeding, like right away into the snow. And I'm like, Tim didn't even really, like, he hadn't even realized that he had hit the tree yet.
Yeah, I hadn't, like, it hadn't arrived yet.
He hadn't realized. And I'm like, Tim, you're bleeding. And you reach up and, like touch the spot.
When you said you're bleeding, I thought it was a nosebleed because it was dripping down my nose. And I was like, oh, shit.
It was dripping down your face, and then you're like, you touch your nose, but then you touch your forehead, and you notice your hand comes back all bloody. And you just started freaking the fuck out. Like, you were having a full-on panic attack. You're like, I'm bleeding, my head is bleeding, holy shit. Like, just freaking out. I'm like, Tim, it's not that bad. It's just like a cut. So, like, just like, sit down, relax. Bro was like making a fucking puddle of blood in the snow, dyeing it red. We wave over some teacher. They bring him over. He had to get not stitches,
wasn't it? But it was
but-
like hair stitches.
Yeah, they
Yeah, 'cause
used
my
his
dad's a-
hair to like glue it
My
shut.
dad's a doctor, so he reads like all of the medical journals and shit. And he's like, "Hey, family doc, I saw this thing
Sure
where
enough, it
if you use their hair as stitches, then it heals faster and better." So what they did to stitch up my split scalp was literally tie pieces of hair from either side together with glue.
Unconventional but effective. It keeps pausing my music, bro. It's annoying as hell.
I don't know.
It's because
Yeah.
Spotify does that thing where it's like if you have your mic open and
Those
it
are
detects
power lines.
music. I don't know why it's so buggy.
Yeah, so like even now I have like a thin strip of hair that doesn't grow.
Permanent scar. Another one was the time that Liam. We have to talk about Leo.
Oh,
Liam was he's a bigger conversation than Andy.
Yeah. So Liam and Damien S. And Nick Urich, they were in the playground. This was like in November. Like there wasn't snow on the ground yet, but it was cold.
I like
out.
half saw this. I was sitting on top of like the bars.
I saw this all happen. So Liam had taken Damien's hat, and Damien was pissed. Like Damien's like, "Give me back my hat! Like just fucking give it back." He's getting annoyed. Liam's just like being annoying about it. I don't know what it was that Damien did to piss Liam off, but Liam got super pissed and started just like bull rush, like full charging Damien. But Liam, Nick Urich, caught in the crossfire, walks in front of him and takes the full brunt of Liam's Rhine charge and just gets knocked to the ground. And we were like, okay, like what? Get up, like it's fine. He just got hit by Liam, but no, this guy he stopped moving. He just lay on the ground like whimpering. So we call over Mr. Skews. And we're like, is he okay? And Mr. Skews comes back. And he checks on Nick, asks him some stuff, goes inside, and comes back with like a brown blanket and drapes it over Nick while he just lies there in the grass. And
I
it's
got like a bird's eye view on this part, right? Like at this point, I've noticed he's on the ground. I'm like talking with Sabrina. I'm like, holy shit!
He's still just lying there, not saying anything. And then at this point, everyone in like the playground kind of noticed what happened. Like Liam and Damien got taken inside to get like talk to the principal, and Nick is just lying there with the blanket on him. And then slowly, like all the guys come by, and like to pay our respects, we take our jackets off and drape them on him with the blanket. But by the end of recess, he's still just lying there, his head poking out with a big pile of jackets all over him. I don't know if it was his mom or if they...
In typical me fashion, I just didn't have one.
I don't know if they called EMS or his mom to come pick him up, but we learned like a few days later after him being absent that he actually fractured a vertebrae.
I think it was EMS, wasn't it? Like a bunch of like hospital people that showed up to get him.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like they had an ambulance in the front lot and they stretchered him out. I don't remember. They kind of like forced us to go inside at that point.
Yeah, like what the fuck?
Yeah, clear the way for the emergency workers. But yeah, he literally shattered a vertebrae, and
then I got on a Hangouts call with them like a couple of months later, and they're like fucking with people on Omega like nothing happened. I'm like, okay.
he straight up like had to be in a wheelchair for a week.
For a good while.
God, FALLINGBROOK, bro. We have like some. Like I remember talking to like some of my friends who went to Dunning, and Dunning lore compares, like it's up there in like crazy schools, but nothing stacks up with FALLINGBROOK, which is funny for how small of a school it actually is.
Like even Raceland would have run out of stories at this point, and he was like the only Dunning kid I knew, and that guy was crazy.
Yeah, so we do have more stories about Liam Jordan. So one time in Miss Samard's math class. So for reference, little mini side anecdote here. Miss Samard was the math teacher that taught us about median by using her middle finger.
He's like 80 years old at this point too. Like she's old.
Yeah, she looked like the only like physical resemblance that I can draw up in my mind is like a blend between Gandalf and Dumbledore, but as a woman. That's Mrs. Samar. She was a good teacher. I liked Mr. Mart. I actually had her son as my one of my music teachers at high school. But anyway, back to the main story. So, what was it that like set him off? Like Liam. Oh yeah, so Liam had brought duct tape to school for some reason.
He had something.
He had brought duct tape to school for some reason. Like I don't know if it was like a project we were working on in science or anyway. So he had duct tape with him, and he sat at the back of the math class. I can't even finish. And he spent like most of math just being obnoxious and like taping up his whole arm to the desk and like just putting duct tape all over himself and all over the place. And at some point, Mrs. Samar just couldn't take it no more. She was like, Liam, what are you doing? You need to stop. You need to take off the tape and throw it out, or I'm going to take that roll away. And this just set Liam off. He got so angry. Like, what happened? He ended up like flipping his desk and storming out.
This is not like the only time he flipped his desk, by the way. That was a regular occurrence. We had to leave classes repeatedly because Liam was
there were times, yeah, when Liam would like lose his mind, and we would just have to like evacuate the classroom.
Like he had something. I don't know what he had, but he had something.
Yeah, like, and it was usually like Miss Samar. Like, Liam and Miss Samar just had beef. The two of them just hated each other. Like, it was like we couldn't go a day in math class without one of them. And like, Miss Samar would like low key drop insults on this kid, like a child. Like she would insult him. Like it was crazy. Like I can't remember exactly the things she would say, but like they were just like subtle disses. And it was insane because he would just parry right back. Like he wouldn't just take it; he would immediately like interject back.
Like it was fun. Okay, what did she tell him again? It was something.
Yeah, like there was a specific thing that set him off to flip his table. Like what was it?
It was like there was the table flipping, but there was another time where it was like she like quietly said something that everybody heard. And like he heard it, and he just like left.
Oh yeah, he just walked out. I know what you're talking about. He
just stopped talking and left.
Like she made a joke to the class that was like again like those subtle disses to Liam, and like that she probably shouldn't have been making.
Yeah.
But it was funny as hell. But he heard it.
I think he was late. And he was like talking shit. And like she said something, and he just like turned right back out. Because it wasn't like he was sitting at his desk; he was like at the door.
Mm-hmm. Like it was something about like it must have been like something about like how he was like she made like a comment on how he was raised or something like that.
Oh yeah, I think that was it.
It was something, but brother just shut up and left.
Honestly,
we're like, holy shit!
Good on him that time, because like it's not a teacher's place to say that kind of shit.
We're like, what?
No had every right to walk out. Alright, Julian, I'll make you happy and use the blue car now.
Liam was like his own category of like insane.
Oh, another Liam story for you, Jordan. So we grew up always going to the Princess Louise Falls.
Yeah.
For reference, these are like there's like big.
Yes.
It's a big forest, just near the FALLINGBROOK. Like just like if you keep walking, so the FALLINGBROOK baseball diamond is like right beside this big storm drain. Like big crater, and then if you go past the crater spills into this like little causeway. And then the causeway leads into this little river that is like this huge waterfall. Like there's this huge cliff and like a big forest. And so we spent a lot of our time in our youth there because it was a sick spot. Like we have tons of stories that we could get into right after this about FALLINGBROOK Falls. But so one day we're at the falls, and this was before they had done a bunch of construction on St. Joseph. So there was still like this big basin at the bottom of the falls. So we were there in March. Like it was like maybe 5 degrees out. There was still lots of snow on the ground. The water's still kind of half frozen. We climb down to the bottom to the basin, and I think Amin's like, I dare you to swim in that. And of course, Liam says bet, and he does it. He strips down right to his underwear and jumps in. And this is just, like, this was just gray water. Like, it's just sewage runoff.
It's like the kid had like a total lack of impulse control.
And he just
Like,
jumped in.
Like, brother was the definition of head empty, only monkey.
Like, that water must have been, like, the same temperature as the air, like 5 Celsius. And he was in it for a while. Like, he did, like, a good 2-3 minutes just swimming around in there. And then he got out, put his stuff back on, sopping wet, red as a beet.
I don't know how he didn't catch anything off of that. It was like a miracle.
No, bro, should have gotten,
Yeah.
like, every, like, vax after doing that.
But he just showed up, totally fine.
Yep, no ailments.
Beyond his usual.
Some other fun times we've had at Fallingbrook Falls. The time we chucked, the things that we've chucked over the cliff, like, I found, like, a bunch of bricks that were painted like minions. One time, I was there with Amin and I think Tim and Aiden and Nikki, and we just threw it. We found a walker and we threw it over the edge.
I was there for that, so was my sister.
Well, that was a jump scare, bro. The event ended.
Yeah, I've just been doing the event the whole time, just chilling.
I'm just driving around.
I've just been flying a plane the whole time. I was like, I might as well do it. Yeah, no, it was basically everyone who was there for the walker thing.
Yeah.
It was so funny. One time I was there with just Amy and Julian. This isn't really a Fallingbrook story, but I feel like it's an honorable mention. We noticed there was this really big poplar tree that was dead. And I had been noticing it, like, for months. Like, it was just there. But, like, this day, I was like, that thing is ready to go down. And I actually managed to push it hard enough to make it break and fall. And Julian, I don't know if you remember that, but it was so loud. Like, this tree was massive. Like, I'm telling you, it was probably, I want to say, a radius at the trunk of, like, a full ruler. Like, 30 centimeters. Like, 60 centimeters across.
Like, it was a big tree.
Big tree, and it went down and just clattered, and then at the bottom it shattered into like 5 pieces. And I don't know if you guys remember, but then for months and months after that, until
There
they
was
did
like
the
a wood
construction,
plank.
there were like big poplar logs at the bottom, right around, like, you know, where the basin kind of funneled into that, like, gap of the 2
Were
concrete
we not using one of
slabs that
those
you
as
could
like a
get to?
bridge to cross?
Yeah, but like, yeah, that was the, like, I couldn't believe I managed to push that thing over. That tree was gigantic.
Yeah.
We were there
time-
like within the last year too, like
Yeah.
doing some landscaping, if I'm not mistaken.
It doesn't look the
Josh.
same there anymore.
Yeah. They boarded off of like a bunch of stuff.
Amy says, "Remember the year that the small crater flooded? The one."
Oh yeah, we
Oh,
have.
yeah.
There's clips on like official Bros Craft of that.
Yeah. So another Liam story for you, Jordan. One time it was when it was flooded there. Damien was playing with his new, like, he had just gotten like the iPhone 5 or something, and it was the first iPhone that
That
had
motherfucker
slow
always
motion.
had like the newest shit.
Yeah. So this is the first iPhone with slow motion. Like, this was a revelation. What? We can make slow-mo videos? So we were just going around doing like stupid shit on the playground after school one day. Tim was like, we filmed Tim jumping in a puddle. And then we go to the crater, which was filled up with water. Like, just brown melt water. And
What's, like,
Amin and
weird?
Liam, it's always, why is it that when something happens, it's one of you two?
It's
and
one
Liam,
of you
bro.
guys.
So we go to the crater. And Amin's like, all right, Liam, on the count of 5, we're both going to do a backflip and we're going to get it on the slow motion video. So we go in, they like just up to their boots in the water, and he counts it down. Damien's filming, but right as he like gets to 0, Amin just starts running. But Liam actually goes for it and ends up just like backflopping into the
water.
water.
The jump for
Yeah, he
Liam.
faked it.
Liam full commits and Amin just bolts.
Yeah, Amin faked him out, and Liam did the full thing and just landed it like backwards into the water. Just like fully covered in this brown
slow-mo,
sludge.
like the moment of realization that comes too late.
He just gets up and chasing him. We do have like the actual video. I can send it on Craft later if you guys want.
You just put it in media in like a second.
Yeah, somebody find it.
I'll go put it in media. Give me like 2 seconds. Just park my plane. And I think I could just leave it hovering.
We have a bunch of those Damien's slow motion videos. So like our YouTube channels from the back in the day. I think that's another video I actually have planned. So I won't get too much into our YouTube channels. But yeah, man, we had the best times. FALLINGBROOK was like a
the only
good
thing we know
place
about
to
our
grow
YouTube
up.
channels is thank God I uploaded literally everything.
I'm so glad that we like kept our videos. It's literally like a time capsule.
Yeah.
Oh my God, there's so many Pokemon packs. Oh, here it is! Backflop!
That crater, a lot of fun stuff happened to that like little crater behind it. It was like where the trees were. Every year, the snow melt would freeze overnight running down the hill, and like it was like mixed in with a bunch of trees and roots, and we would just use it like a slip and slide. Like,
yeah,
the teachers would have to watch over us, just paranoid that somebody was gonna get a concussion, because it was like this steep little cliff like hill thing with roots and trees that we would just like slide down and like hold on for dear life. Kids would come crashing down, taking everyone
managed
down
to like
in a
start
pile.
breaking the asphalt on the edge of it, so it wasn't even like stable.
Yeah, and then like I remember like you'd come back the next day and the hill would just be full of sand because they wanted us to stop sliding.
Yeah.
And everyone would just be like spend the whole day like dissing the janitor, like, oh fuck you, man.
I remember
We were
like,
having fun.
I don't remember if it was grade 6 or 7, but I remember I got a magnifying glass.
Oh
Yes.
boy.
Yes. Well, we
I was
discovered
trying-
that you could make fire with light.
Yeah.
We were like, whoa.
And it took a total of a single recess to get magnifying glasses banned.
Yeah, it was like me, you, and Nick Urich.
Yeah.
Tim,
I
we went
might
out
have
to
been
the
involved in
crater.
this.
We went out to the crater and we got like a little pile of leaves and we actually got it to light and we had a little campfire going. And I don't know which teacher saw it. It was probably Miss Searle because she was always on that side of the yard.
Yeah.
The Nazi of the
She
teacher
just
group.
saw us and I saw her like double take and we just were like, put it out and run. We just scattered. Next day there's an announcement in the morning. Students will not be allowed to will not be permitted to bring magnifying glasses to school because of an incident in the playground yesterday.
Just a side note about that crater, it flooded basically every year because like there was a single drain at the very bottom of the crater and it would always snow into the maximum and get filled in with like the yard snow and stuff because it was a big crater. So it was just always melting into itself until it finally reached the bottom and it was just like you could see it starting to go down one day and you're like, damn.
It was just that one year where it was like particularly high. Like the water was like
Yeah.
at its
Like,
deepest,
it did it
probably
frequently,
4
but it was
feet.
like it's like they started dumping all of the snow in there, and then when it like got that bad, they realized how bad they fucked up.
Yeah.
Like we need a new place to put this, or more drains.
The snow hills were like a battle zone every year, bro. Like where the snow plows would push all the snow from the parking lot.
Oh yeah, there were like fortresses out in the soccer field or whatever it was.
So
Yeah.
we were like fed up with the snow fort kids. Like it was grades above and below us. We were in grade 7 at the time. They would fight every day. And so one day after school, like for like it was like for a good month, we would just after school go and destroy every single fort. Like just
Yeah.
we gave up on building our
I
own.
was definitely involved in this. If
Yeah.
it was something
Yeah,
needing to be
didn't
broken,
we call
I
it
was
like
there.
the wind.
Yeah, we gave up on just like because we kept trying to like make our own, but we would come back and it was like damaged, and somebody else's was fine, and like people kept getting into arguments. So we were just like, fuck it, if we can't have a fort, no one can. So every day after
Liam
school,
Cluett was involved in this. Why was he involved in this?
yeah, we would go like
I
every
don't
day
know
and just
why, but I know he
destroy
was there.
every single fort. Like if we can't have one, no one gets one. And so we called ourselves the Wind, because like if people would ask, "Oh, what happened to our fort? Why are all the forts destroyed?" We would just be like, "I don't know, must have been the wind." It stood for something. It was like the winter, something destruction. Like it was like
Yeah.
it had like it was an actual acronym for like what we did. It was hilarious, bro. We were creative. We had like a lot of games that we made up.
Intervention and destruction, maybe, but we fucked up with the end. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that.
Do you guys remember Grapes?
Yeah,
Oh,
grapes. I started that
Grapes.
shit. It was just like we would always go after
started this
Aiden's little
company.
brother, and we would just go up to him and like just surround him while going grapes, grapes, grapes. Like, we would see him like in school too, like in the halls, and we would just be like, "Hey, Evan, grapes," and he'd be like, "No, please."
And it's like there was never like a coordinated effort for this. We all just like see him around, like standing on his own and be like, "It's time."
When it came to like games we played at recess, it was like either me or Aiden that came up with shit, or sometimes Nikki too. Like,
Unless we
like-
had like a thing going on with some kind of toy or something.
like Aiden's game was like I remember Aiden came up with a game called Germ. I don't know if you guys remember it at all,
I
but like
vaguely
it
remember
sounds
this.
familiar.
we just had like different abilities that were like, I don't even know, like bioweapon based. We also played like the zombie game, like Walking Dead, all the time.
Yeah.
One I came up with was the sun game, which is where like you have to like collect and harvest shit only when there's like a shadow, like from a cloud or something, and then
There
if
was
the
like
sun's
one
out,
year in like the
if you're
fourth
caught
grade
out
where
there,
we
you
just
die.
had like a thing going for a couple of weeks with like a war story arc with like 4 people.
Yeah. Do you remember? Do you remember
like
the sun game
fucking
though?
D-Day trenches with the scuffed ass sandbox by the playground in the back.
The reason I in particular mentioned the sun game is because after I came up with it and we were always playing it, the generations after us caught on, and apparently, according to Julian, it was still being played. Like years after we were gone.
really?
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Like the one where you have to like collect and gather stuff
Yeah.
like dandelions and acorns and pancones and whatever.
Yeah.
we left a mark, bro.
The weirdest thing about Fallingbrook is that
Oh, no, we definitely
like,
left marks.
people recognized me that I had never seen before. Like, even like just a couple years ago, I went back and like this kid who must have been like grade 6 or even younger is like, "Oh, are you Tim?" I'm like,
Fuck.
How
Normally
do
I would
you
say it's the
know
sibling
me?
effect, but your siblings didn't even go to Fallingbrook.
yeah.
I never really went back for anything. Unless we were all there.
I still see Fallingbrook teachers from time to time, and I get recognized.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because of where you work, right? I don't really get that.
And
Yeah,
according to
it's-
my mom, like our generation was like just our particular class, our graduating class was like one of the most infamous from like and just like well loved from like the Fallingbrook teachers. Like they still would talk about, oh yeah, I remember my class with like Amin and all the gang. We left a mark on that place.
We got into some fucked up shit all the time.
Like the time you and Amin were playing, we were playing Manhunt. And we had to race
Always,
'cause
man.
it was always like the flagpole circle that was the end point. Like when the bell rang, anyone who was still alive in Manhunt had to make it to the flagpole grass to like be safe.
You had to hold the flagpole.
Like it was the flagpole. Some days it was just the grass because the flagpole could just be like monkey guarded. But this day in particular, we made it the doors for some reason.
We had it at the doors for a while because we wanted like the extra challenge.
And this is why we stopped doing the doors. You can tell this story, Brendan, because it was...
Yeah, okay. So, like, here's the way this goes, right? It's at the end of recess one day. I'm still alive. I don't know who else was, but I know I was because I was making a beeline for the doors. And Amin was caught, and he's usually faster than me, right? So I'm, like, bolting my ass over to the doors, like, as fast as I can. And I beat him there, right? But I stopped myself a little bit before the door to, like, slow down so I don't, like, smash into, like a clear glass door, right? Like, I'm a little bit... I, like, notice he's behind me a bit, so I stop a little bit before it just to lose some momentum. And he, like... And I, like, hit the door, right? And it was, like, safe, right? And I was pulling my hands off of it. He slams into me from the back end. I go, like, flying forwards, and the door, like, doesn't shatter, but, like... If you
Spider
blew
web
it the wrong
crack.
way, it would have absolutely shattered. And we're
Like,
like,
it was just like a big
"Oh."
spider web shaped crack, like the whole door. And Miss Anderson,
We're like, oh, fuck.
Miss Anderson, I think, saw it, and she's like, "Hey!" Like every
She
time,
asked me what happened, and I like explained it. And she's like, "Oh,
it's always like Miss Anderson was always catching a Min doing shit like this.
Yeah.
If Miss Anderson or if Miss Samard and Liam had beef, it was Miss Anderson and a Min that had beef.
Yeah.
The two of them
neither of
were
us really got
always-
blamed for it because it was kind of just like unfortunate accident."
It
right?
was
like,
an accident. Like it really wasn't your fault. But needless to say, after that day, we didn't use the doors as a checkpoint.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like my grandmother came by later the day to pick me up and like the little Miata, right? And she's looking at the door. She's like, "I wonder what happened to that door." And I'm like, "Funny story." That's my fault.
Another time, like that kid threw a brick through Madame Leclerc's window. Yeah, we were in class and like some kid outside, like it was during class, so I don't know what he was doing out there. Threw a brick through and broke the window.
We got
I don't
evac from Madame McClare's class a few times because of Liam too.
Yeah.
Because that was our homeroom,
Oh
right?
my
Like, if
God,
something
speaking
went
of
down, it
evac.
was in there.
Do you guys remember the bomb threat?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And my parents came and picked me up and we're all like horrified, just like, "Man, I was watching a movie. Fuck you guys."
So yeah,
They put on The Land Before Time in the
And
room I was in. I was
B-movie.
like, oh, this is lit.
so
Yeah.
the bomb threat Fallingbrook story, like it was just an ordinary day. I think maybe like in May, like it was like towards the end of the school year.
And
As like
everybody,
suddenly
like,
we just get
wanted to
locked down. Like it was early on in the morning. Like it was probably like 11 o'clock.
It was early enough that it could be a drill, like, you know, it was in that time slot where it was like, it was
Yeah.
before lunch, like,
It was
you
like
had time.
so we're like, all right, locked down. We all go to the corner, lock the door. We're like, all right, regular old drill. We're trying not to laugh. You know, somebody makes a fucking fart noise, typical shit. But then it keeps going, and it keeps going, and it
And we're like,
keeps
okay,
going.
what
Like
the fuck? And
for
eventually we get evacuated down to like the other end of the building, right?
Yes.
They just tell us we're going down there to watch a movie, right?
so, the vice principal. I don't remember who the vice principal was at the time. Like, was it
might have been
Mr.
Miss Anderson.
Nowinski or Miss Anderson? I don't know. But they brought us. She comes and opens the door, and she's like, "All right, we're gonna move all the kids over to like the like you know like the extension block."
We wound up in Madame Ranger's class. I know that much.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
like Fallingbrook had these like extension areas that were made of
It
like
was
the
like two
green.
extensions. The right extension was like grade 1 to 4, and the left extension was like grade 5 to 8.
Like if you remember if you're standing at the gym doors, you keep walking, then there's the community center. There's like the hall with the yellow lockers, then you keep going past the bricks, and then like the green lockers, that's where we were. We were like the far end of the school with the green lockers. It was like they had
Yeah.
like the 1, 2, 3 classes there, I think. Yeah, because
They
Madame
basically
Melon's class
they
was there,
basically
Madame
brought us to, like,
Granger's
a
class.
second grade class.
So we were all in the hallway, not even in the classes, just in the hallways. And some teacher wheels out like a CRT TV on a stand and
We're
starts
like,
playing
"Yeah!"
starts playing the B movie. And then like just throughout the day, like this lasted literally all day. Like people's parents kept like picking us up, and then every time a parent would come in, we'd learn a little bit more information. So it turns out that there was a bomb threat. Some student found like a box outside near the hockey rink with wires, or like it was like a soda can or
No,
something.
it was in the
that had-
dumpster. It was in the dumpster.
yeah, it had
Yeah.
like wires in it.
It
Apparently,
wasn't
it was
even
just
a bomb threat. Like someone just saw a box with wires in the dumpster and they like freaked the fuck out and thought it was a bomb.
yeah. They
Yeah.
literally called the bomb squad. They had like they screwed in like you know it was like some cartoon shit like in Monsters Inc. when they like screw that bowl on the ground and like explode the sock.
Yeah.
They had that. They did that
Yeah.
shit for this box. Turns out it was literally just like a can with wires in it. There was nothing dangerous about it, but they wanted to be safe.
It was
I
some
guess.
idiot science project or something.
But we basically
Yeah.
just like lost a day of school just sitting in the hallway watching the B movie and The Land Before Time. And us like people just slowly started just going home. Yeah, it was crazy. Like I
There
remember
were like
like
so many like disasters that occurred at Fallingbrook that were like.
well like the
related to-
2010 earthquake. Like that was strong enough shaking. I remember the
I
first.
was home for that. I think I was like sick.
I think we were in math class. We were in that same like green locker area in I think like the left side classroom.
Yeah.
And I had brought like a keychain to school that day, and I had hung it up on like my cubby outside. And I could hear the first thing I heard was the very distinct sound of my keys jingling, because like it's something that you're so used to, like my brain could just pick it out. I'm like, who the fuck is touching my keys? But then the ground really starts shaking, and I'm like, oh shit, earthquake. And I like immediately, because you know how I talked to in another Just Joshing episode, I was always reading that disaster book. Bro, my training kicked in. I was like, everybody, get under your tables, get under your desks right now. And the teacher's like not even knowing what to do. She's like, should we go outside? I'm like, no, we need to get under our desks and wait until it stops. I remember like hearing Alyssa like start screaming, bro. Girls were like freaking the hell out. I'm like perfectly calm. I'm like, I'm ready. Let's go. I know what to do.
I was at home like, what the fuck is this?
And then like midway through like the shaking, again, vice principal comes and knocks at the door. She's like, we need to go outside. Shaking stops. We're filing up outside. I remember seeing like the kindergartners holding like the rope, standing on the hill. They had all of us stand on, like on the hill where we used to play soccer in primary school. And we just stood out there. We ended up just going home. The fire department had to go and like check the building for structural integrity, because it wasn't. This was no joke. It was a 5.0. That's like a significant earthquake.
I remember what I was about. I was homesick.
Yeah, same. I was too.
And
there had to have been something going around because I was home.
Yeah, there was like a cold going around or something.
I wasn't even awake. I slept through the entire thing.
You sleep through too many problems.
Like the middle of the day, and my mom's like, "Hey, you slept through an earthquake."
And we've never had one that powerful. I was like in my mom's
room, like, what the fuck?
I think we had like a 4.1 or a 4.6 or something, but the Richter scale is logarithmic, so a 5 is literally like 10 times stronger than a 4. We haven't had anything close to that before since. I remember there was this like video going around that was so funny. This like Orleans like Quebec French guy doing a workout routine when it happened. He's just like, oh, what the frick is this called? And he goes outside. He's like, I'm trying to do my workout. I remember watching it on Facebook on like the Windows Vista laptop we had.
You remember when we got like pseudo lockdown in the cafeteria and we're like, the fuck is going on? And Gabe was like, yo, they shot a guy downtown.
Oh.
We're like, oh.
Was that? Like, was that during primary school or like elementary school?
Yeah, it was. No, because it was Gabe. It was Gabe who said it. I don't remember his last name. Doyon or something. Doyon.
Yeah, Gabe Doyon.
Yeah, he's the one who brought it up. We were in the cafeteria and they were like, yeah, no one's going outside for recess, but you guys can sit in the cafeteria. And we're like, okay.
My best memory of Gabe, because I was always in his classes, because I always got put in the split class with the older kids. I remember one day,
once, if I'm not mistaken.
One day at indoor recess, I think this was in, maybe this was in when I was in grade 7. Because it was in Madame McDonald's classroom, and there was an old computer at the back of the class that had like a CRT monitor. And Gabe was just like, during recess, I don't know where the teacher had gone, but Gabe was showing us 9/11 footage on the computer. And I just remember being
like, out of pocket.
I just remember being like, so, because I had never, this was my first exposure to 9/11. Like, it must have been before. Like, I think it might have been just like close to the holidays or something. Because there's no way it was grade 6. I was young. Like, I was in, like, grade 4.
If it was we were only ever in a split class, like, once, if I'm not mistaken.
I was in split classes several times. Like, there were a lot of times where I ended up, like, out of the class with Amin and everybody because I was in the split class. Like, it was me, for some reason, me, Julia Banfield, and Alyssa always got put in split classes.
I was with you once. It was, like, 2nd grade.
But anyway, so, yeah, like, I was really young, like, and I don't know why we were in Madame McDonald's. I think, like I said, I think it was like a special day, so they had like us kids doing like an art thing in there, and Gabe was just on the computer for some reason, looking at 9/11 footage. And I remember getting like double freaked out because one of my like childhood fears was like technology being weird, like kind of like analog horror before it was a thing, and just like computers doing their own things. But he's showing us these 9/11 videos, and I'm watching a plane fly into a building and people dying and jumping off the World Trade Center. And at the same time, the computer was like glitching and like the screen kept changing colors, like it kept going pink for some reason. And I was just like, I was like trauma, like that memory has never left me. Like now I look back on it and like I'm not bothered by it, but I distinctly remember that. Because that's the first time I ever saw anything 9/11 related, and it was on this like glitchy old CRT monitor in the art room with Gabe Doyon.
That motherfucker always had something. It's not as bad as your what was it? It was one of your birthday parties where Damien was like, "Guys, check this out," and he just started playing fucking Two Girls One Cup like at 2 in the
Oh, I
morning.
God.
remember that.
It was always Damien or
And we're like,
Min playing
"What the fuck?"
my first exposure to like anything NSFW was because of Min and Damien showing me shit on their like iPods.
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
Like I said, one of them always had something.
It was always at like Nikki's sleepovers.
Yeah.
I can't relate. I never went to Nikki's sleepovers, bitch. I always got left out.
I mean, you getting homeschooled did not help with that.
Yeah.
No, I'm still upset about that to this day. Like, fuck you. I haven't technically graduated a single time.
There was no schooling.
No, I have nothing. Even though I have the schooling, I don't have the paper for it because of my mother's stupid idea.
Oh man.
It's fucked. Like the whole way through. That's why I wasn't there for 8th grade, is because I got pulled for homeschooling. Not because I was stupid, but because I was lazy. I didn't want to do anything. I did enough to skirt by at a 50 or a 60, and that was it.
Is there a limo parked here?
Oh no. Oh, it's always parked there.
Something else. We're at time here. We're at 1 hour, but I feel like we've got a vibe going. So
Yeah.
I had to
We can keep
cut.
going.
I had to cut the last one short, and it is Saturday, so I'll keep going. How's chat doing though? I will pause and just. How are you
Last
guys
thing
doing?
I've seen was Jordan saying "newt newt."
Yeah, that Pingu.
Oh,
At home watching Pingu. I don't know what I was doing. There's the time I broke out of grounding at home to participate in the run for fun.
Oh, I was
yeah.
gonna talk about the run for fun. Yeah, that
I
was
pulled
kind
up
of like
on a fucking
Falling Brook-
bike, and like the teachers were like, "Aren't you sick?" I was like, "No, my dad's held me hostage doing chores all day."
Run for Fun was like a Fallingbrook exclusive, bro.
They changed the Terry Fox route, by the way. I saw
They
those little
did?
fuckers doing the Terry Fox run the other day, right? They were coming up Aiden Street, like they were wrapping around like the Catholic elementary school.
Everyone knows that one kid during the Terry Fox run who just limps like Terry Fox for some reason.
No, we all did it, but only briefly, and some kid always just committed to the bit for 1 year, no
Yeah, like-
reason.
Like Terry Fox run and Run for Fun. The serious, like the level of seriousness we put it, like if somebody cut the crater, it was a
We were
cardinal
like, "Hey, fuck
sin.
that guy!"
For
Yeah.
reference, like the storm crater I mentioned earlier. So the racetrack that we did for Run for Fun. I guess I should talk about what Run for Fun is. So Fallingbrook had this thing called the Run for Fun,
It was
where
like a charity
every
thing, wasn't it?
like, I don't even know. It was just like a PTA. Like it was just something to look forward to. It was like every June, Fallingbrook would get like put out their budget, like hire Hot 89.9 to come in with big speakers, get all the like barbecue. Parents would come out with the barbecues, and we'd just have like a big run. There would be like games after, pizza available in the caf. It was just a good time. Like we just go for a run and have games and have fun. Like day out, like just chill day after
And
school.
the distance increased as you got older.
Yeah, so like yeah,
Like,
the
it was
kindergartens
like
would be
one
like
lap
a
for the first
half
couple
lap.
years, then it was 2, 3, 4,
Um,
5 if you're one of those like special running kids. Oh,
But-
that's a building.
that would be
9/11.
me.
But it really was just for
Special
fun.
running kids, that's me.
But like so the course went around that big crater I was talking about. And so people sometimes, to like shorten their time, would cut across the crater. And if you got caught doing that, it was like the lowest of the low. Like you could not be if you cut the crater, you were scum. People would look down on you. You would not live past it. So. And, like every year there was some kid, like, and it was usually Andy who tried to cut the
Yeah.
crater. And we would just be like, oh, fucking crater cutters, man.
It's like
It
it
was
was like
just
a
so
slur
funny.
in of itself. Fucking crater cutters.
Yeah, and it was just so funny because it was just like literally just the run for fun. Like it was the most chill thing ever, but we took it so seriously. We would time each other, like we would bring stopwatches and shit.
Yeah.
Track and field day, bro. How it
I
felt
think it
getting.
pasted the results online. Like if you looked up my name on the internet, like I think the only thing that shows up in record is that I placed 25th in a run for fun once.
The best thing about the run for fun is, other than the yearbook quality, it was the #1 way of checking how much money Fallingbrook was getting over the years. Because the longer we were at Fallingbrook, the shittier the run for fun would be. Like when we were in grade 1 and like when I was in grade 1 and when we were in like the younger grades, it was decked out. They had like Hot 89.9 come in. They hired this guy to do like tennis lessons. They had like these professional like carnival booths. We had like medals. They gave out frisbees. It was so cool. And then like grade 6, it's like they get rid of the Hot 89.9 and they just had like DJ Mrs. Power. And then like there's no more giveaways, no more medals. And then by the time we hit grade 8, it was like barely a shell of what it used to be. Same with the yearbooks. Our grade 8 yearbook was like a print out black and white shitty quality stapled booklet. Whereas in the younger grades it was like a full on printed like manufactured
like
book.
laminated like whole thing.
Like actually quality. Like I don't know what happened to Fallingbrook's budget that it was just
They blew too much budget on the doors. My fault.
Literally, no, it is like something out of Diary of a Wimpy Kid. It's hilarious.
Like, it just progressively got worse every time.
And now I think Fallingbrook, as we know it, is kind of like actually about to die because I'm pretty sure it's getting sold out to the Catholic board.
Yeah.
Like they're
You
making
remember
it a
when
Catholic school.
they installed the buddy benches and we're like, that is the dumbest shit I've ever seen.
I am reading chat.
Oh, I'm just remembering back to the Fallingbrook Falls. Once
The jeans
I don't
fire?
think I don't think either of you guys were there. It
No,
was like
I
me-
know of this story.
me,
wasn't it?
Aiden, Alyssa, I think Amin,
Damien? Jade?
maybe Damien, definitely Jade, and
You hung out with Jade and
I-
Alyssa a lot.
I did. That's a
I
that's
got a story
another
about that one when you're done.
We find a pile of clothes. Like, it was honestly surreal. Like, because it's just the falls, and there's like this little
There's
oak
always
cropping.
something there.
There's this little oak cropping of like stone where it's like sheltered, like right next to the falls, and we just found a pile of clothes there. And this wasn't just like someone's sweater or something. This is like
Everything.
all of several people's clothes. And we go look around. There's no one there. We have a lighter.
The
Please
jeans
note for
fire,
later, they were
bro.
probably in the alcove below the falls doing questionable things with each other.
Yeah, so we just lit them on fire and watched them burn for like the longest time.
W.
And
To where I
like
pick a
the
car,
jeans,
red and black.
the jeans took a really long time both to catch fire and to burn. The bra, I think it was only one bra, went up in flames like a freaking thing of napalm. Like what? That was hilarious.
There's also the time I got done with my my paper route for the day, right? And I don't know what possessed me to do it, but I took a walk to Fallingbrook, right? Because I was like bored out of my mind, and I was like, all right, I'll just go take a walk, right? And I'm saying black, by the way, Josh. I took a walk up to the front gate, and there was Tim, Alyssa, and
Red it is. Chat says
it was
red.
Jade. It was Jade. Yeah, she's key to the story. How the fuck did I forget? Okay, so it was like Tim, Alyssa, and Jade, right? And I showed up to the front, and I was like, all right, like these guys are here, so I was like, all right, I'll just hang out with them, I guess. So we're like just like having a conversation at the front by the flagpole, right? Or at that point, I think it was our designated manhunt spot.
Yeah.
Because everyone played. This was like this was after the door. Oh yeah, I was homeschooled at this point. This was 8th grade.
Yeah.
Right? So we're all there, we're having a chat, and Jade gets a message from her mother, and we're like, oh, okay, you're probably, like, being told to go home, whatever. She opens the message, and it's the horniest shit you've ever read, and we're like, holy shit! Like, what did she just send you? And she, like, called her mother and was like, yo, what the fuck? She's like, that wasn't your dad I said that to? And she was like, no, what the fuck? And she's like, well, sex is normal. And we're like losing our minds. at like 9:30 at night at the fucking flagpoles. Like, holy shit!
I remember one time, like I was out with of course, just the two of them, as was somewhat normal back then, which seems really weird to look back on. But I forget whose mom called, but someone's mom called, and they were like, "Who are you out with?" Like really hostile. And they were like, "Oh, just whoever the other one was, and Tim." "Oh, you're with Tim. Okay."
Like, no problems. Like, yeah, shit, Tim's there. Cool, whatever, it's fine.
Like they said something about, "I don't want you to be out with guys who could whatever," and then they say, "Oh, it's Tim."
Never mind, that motherfucker got no raise. You're good.
He's got no game.
He got no game. Ain't
No game, no
on that
danger,
boy.
bro. Tim and I were kind of known as like the good kids.
I was a problem, but for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
You and Amin
Sarah-
were problem
Sarah's
children, and then Aiden
knew
and Nikki
me
were just
before I had
neutral.
even seen them.
I was usually getting into shit with somebody over something stupid, and
I
teachers
was
did
like-
not like me because my marks were always low, because I was lazy.
I was
I
not
never took
always a
anything in.
good kid though. I got in trouble a lot at FALLINGBROOK. Like I think it was like up until grades 7 and 8. Like 6, like especially grades 1, 2, 3. I was getting detentions all the time. I never got as far as getting suspended, but I had several. I remember several times like getting detentions and like. And back in my day, we had like actual old-fashioned detentions. Like I sat in Miss Norris's office and wrote lines. "I will not da da da. I will not da da da. I will not da da da." Like bro, so like OG shit.
They eventually
bro.
stopped making me write lines because my hands were bad, and I just got to sit there.
I remember when they changed detentions though, because it was like great up until like basically after Miss Norris left. Then they stopped. They stopped doing those writing lines things, and it became those like behavior change forms or something. It was like a pink or like a yellow slip, if you guys remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like what I did, what I should do in the future, like what I learned. Like you just had to like describe the situation and then like how you'll improve from it or whatever. Like some corny.
Like
ass shit.
it was like a quick like 15-minute thing, and then you could go outside again.
Obviously a lot more like looking back, that's a lot more constructive than making a child just write like 50 lines of "I will not do whatever."
Yeah.
But it was so corny.
It was corny, and it only took
Back
like
in my day, we
were
had
like,
real
"You're right,
detentions
yeah,
like
all
Bart
right, you're free to
Simpson.
go."
The only time I
Detention
got
became a
detention.
nuisance, is what it was. It wasn't like a punishment; it was an annoyance.
Oh, I remember. I only got detention one time.
You got
And
like
I got-
suspended from school temporarily because your vaccines weren't up to date.
oh yeah, I
That's
do remember
different,
that.
though.
But like actually got in trouble detention was because it was like a substitute teacher who was like off her mind. Do you remember that one?
Which one? They were all
Was
off
it
their minds.
Madame
It was the
Vache?
one where I think it was you just sat on the floor. That one.
Why was I
Oh,
sitting on the floor?
yeah, she was like yelling at you to
Down.
sit down, and you're like, okay, so you just sat on the floor instead of at your
Wait,
desk.
no. Okay,
Yeah.
no, that tracks. That tracks. That is
So,
something I would have
it's
done.
this teacher, and
Malicious
it's like
compliance.
the middle,
Like, fuck you.
it's like the middle of the period, and we're doing some sort of work, and I've been erasing whatever it was we were working on, because like I messed up or something, and then I went to go put the eraser shavings in the garbage because I felt bad for the janitor having to clean them up.
Oh yes, I remember that.
And then she put me in detention. She was like, "Detention." I'm like, what the fuck?
God, he had gotten detention because soccer was banned and he played with a bunch of kids.
Jesus Christ.
1984, bro.
I
But no,
remember-
yeah, like
didn't
I
we-
would get in trouble a lot for like behavior
Oh.
things. Like I was always talking in class, could not focus. I was just, like,
I was usually in detention for doing something stupid.
like I remember getting one of my worst detentions ever, like where I got sent to the principal's office, and like I had to write lines and like I had to talk to Mr. Nowinski. But it was like back in the day, it was Vice Principal Nowinski and Principal Norris. If you got to talk to Miss Norris, terrifying. This lady looked like Edna Mode, short as Edna Mode, hair like Edna Mode, and she was scary.
I was having conversations with her on a regular basis, and she got to the point where she just kind of gave up, and we just like hung out.
But if it was Mr. Nowinski, this guy was chill. He'd be like, "Alright, just don't do that again." Then he'd like just let you like hang out. Like yeah, like he was just chill. But anyway, I had to talk to I think it was Mr. Nowinski, and he was actually like mad at me because I don't remember exactly what I had done, but it involved like taking somebody's hat. Like it was always fucking hats at Fallingbrook.
It was hats.
Yeah, I got in trouble. I got in trouble a lot. And then like by 7 and 8, you know what? Actually, not even. I want to say grade 7, I was still a problem child, but grade 8, I hit my glow up. I was starting to become a good kid because I won the not participation.
Most improved?
Yeah, the most improved award, which is, by the way, the most humiliating possible award to win.
Yeah.
But it wasn't without merit. I really did most improve. Like, I went from being, like, a fucking brat with always getting in trouble to, like, by grade 8, I was, like top of the class, like, doing
honorable.
Good kid, honorable kid. Like, I grew up. I still can't focus, but at least, what the hell? That car just drove past me and then vanished.
What car was it?
It's just an orange car. It just like faded out of existence.
Oh shit! I saw it.
How do you make the DeLorean fly again? I don't remember.
It's like
not F. I just jumped out of my car.
On your keyboard or on a controller?
G?
I think it's G or H.
X.
Hold G. Try holding G.
Why'd you jump out the car?
I tried F. It's not G.
No, isn't it like Alt or X or something?
I'm tripping, bro.
Like it's X, isn't it? Unless you changed your mind.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, it was X. How do I go up?
Up.
I don't remember how to fly, bro.
It's like number pads.
I don't even have a numpad.
What?
I thought you could use mouse controls.
How did you do this?
Oh, I'm so confused.
What?
Amy says she was interrogated by police. Oh, thanks, Jordan. Ow. What? Why did it just disable itself? Hooray!
Oh, yeah, I should probably provide a bit of context on why two girls and me would be hanging out after school on a regular basis.
You were hanging out with Alyssa frequently.
Yeah, and it was either her and Jade or her and Sarah. And, like, they just come to my door after school. And be like, hey, Tim, we're going out.
You,
like,
the most oblivious motherfucker in the entire building.
Like,
got ground on for 40 minutes to the point they thought you were gay.
Oh yeah, wait, did you tell that story already? Did you tell that already? Did I like...
I just have to elaborate. Hey, Tim, tell the story. That was funny as fuck.
Funky, listen to this.
No.
This is up your alley, Funky.
This is something Funky would have probably done.
Yeah, I was significantly less aware in grade 7 and 8 than I am now. And I mean of like literally everything. Living in my own world. So there's this thing going around called the sitting challenge. And
this was in grade 8, right?
What?
Like this was in grade 8, like we were...
This was the summer of grade 7, after grade 7.
Just right before grade 8, so we were 13 or 12, I think 12.
Yeah. I remember it was when Alyssa was still dating Aiden.
Oh,
yes.
yeah. Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so there was this game going around called the sitting game where it was basically like... No, it was called a challenge, which was what confused me. The challenge part very much confused me. Because the game was a girl sits on a guy's lap until he gets a boner.
Classic
Very
game
simple
to
concept.
peak puberty.
I was not aware that this was supposed to happen in every case. I thought it was a challenge.
Yeah,
that you
Tim
could win.
took that shit literally. It was like, all right, challenge: do not get boner.
So, one of the most frequent activities that we do was truth or dare, and that came up somehow, and I ended up sitting on my lap for a good 40 plus minutes. We even moved spots at one time and continued. Like,
Tim won that challenge. He did not even flinch.
like, no, I did flinch
He did.
when I realized 40
What
minutes
was happening?
later,
Wait a minute.
40 minutes later, and it was because it was like something like, would you be uncomfortable if I turned around?
Amy,
I
you
think
just
that was
reminded
the exact words. Would you be uncomfortable if I turned around, like facing me?
Oh
And
my god.
something in my brain just clicked.
Like, wait a minute.
Do
Oh.
you guys remember that one talent show with Lachlan?
I
I can't, bro.
And,
Josh
like,
is broke.
as soon as
Sorry,
it
Tim.
clicked, I got extremely uncomfortable and just made an excuse and left.
Alright, I'm out of here, bro.
For extra context, she's gay now.
Tim did something to her.
You think it'd be the other way around?
Okay, what
But
do you want
it's
about the
still-
talent show?
Speaking of boners,
Oh my god.
if you guys remember, for a while, for like the week of the talent show back
Yeah.
in grade 8, I think, maybe grade 7, the talk of the boys' table was that to stop a boner, you could stop a boner by flexing your muscles, right? Like, we were talking about this at lunch. It was the talk of the table. It's the joke that was going around. And
Lachlan, dude, fashion took it too seriously, right?
so then it's like later in the day, it's the talent show, right? And Lachlan's up on the stage because he's got a performance to do later. And all of us guys are sitting down in the gym. Oh, like we're all just watching the talent show, and these girls go up and they have like kind of sort of skimpy dance outfits, and they're just doing a dance routine. And we look over at Lachlan. And lo and behold, this guy
Bro
is flexing his arms as hard as he can. Sitting up on the stage with his arms fully flexed. And then all it took was like, you know, like when you're like in class and you look at your buddy and they just have that look on their face.
Yeah.
And we were losing our shit, bro. We were trying so hard
Like,
not
we
to
all
laugh.
looked at each other like, you guys seeing this, right? Yeah, and then we lost
Like,
it.
we were just like, I had to like cover my mouth and my nose so I couldn't breathe, so I couldn't laugh. It was so painful, bro. Oh, it was so funny.
Lachlan always got embarrassed at gym events, I swear.
Yeah.
The other really funny like talent show time was like I think it was the year before or the year after. Like it was back-to-back talent shows. Somebody was doing a dance routine and right the very exact second that it went silent, Nico DeBruin just goes, "Oh," super loud. Like just a super loud moan. And me and Amin looked at each other, and we were sitting beside each other, and we just immediately lost our shit. And our teacher got so mad. She made us like walk out and leave the gym because we could not control ourselves.
I remember that shit. Like,
Oh, it
the
was
talent
so
show
funny.
always looked like it was like this. They gave the special ed kids a mic. That's how bad those talent shows always were. Like, it was like
Yeah.
there was something wrong.
Every year
It was
the
not
talent
a
show
vulgar
had some
talent show unless
disaster.
Julia Banfield sung Taylor Swift somehow.
Yeah.
And it was
Every
always one of
time.
the same like 5 songs every time.
It was always
And
like
it's like, here,
the
get up, and it's like, what's she cooking this time?
"Marry Me, Juliet," like that
I
one.
remember I participated like once. I like played something on the piano, and then Aiden got up and just embarrassed me.
Oh yeah, Aiden like fucking killing it at the piano.
Oh shit!
I go
Jesus.
and play like a grade 2 piece, and he's over there playing a fucking who knows what.
Who else? The other kid that always showed everybody up at the talent show was that English. What's his that kid? He's like a producer now. Like he makes music. He was one of the English
Elaborate,
kids.
and I might be
Jason.
able to tell you.
Jason.
Oh, Jason!
Yeah, Jason. He was insane. That guy could play piano.
He just
Speaking
play
of showing
instruments in
people
general.
up, every year at speeches, Alyssa would win. I would always come like second place and just not quite make it to finals because the judges would pick Alyssa.
It was like absolutely a
was
girl
it?
power thing every
What
time.
was it? I think I came second, like I think grade 5, with my
Yeah.
speech about dinosaurs.
It's a dinosaur
And
speech.
some of the teachers liked it so much they had me go and present it again to their classes.
I had a few moments like that. I remember
Okay,
my
you
thing
remember
was
the
story
grindstone?
writing. I wrote like we had like a few creative writing classes in like grade 8 and 7.
We don't
and
talk about the things we wrote. In
I did
Fallingbrook.
so good though. Like Miss Power and Miss Shaken had me go and read my Christmas story to all the all the kindergartners in the grade 1s, which was terrifying by the way, but I did it. And another story I wrote, I got like 100% on, and like Miss Power wanted me to mail it into this competition, but nothing ever came of that.
Remember we had a thing for like several months for just drawing comics in our binders?
Yeah, Crazy Comics Incorporated. I still have my folder with all of those. It's in my box of
I
memories
might have
somewhere.
it in a box somewhere.
It was
here. I
like
have to, go
me
fishing.
and Nikki started that Crazy Comics Inc. and we had like the craziest things.
Blob the Blob, the best character.
Yeah, we had like original series. Like I had like a bunch of them. Like there was like this the evil Pac-Man one. Nikki had a grapes comic, which was based off the grapes thing we were doing to Evan. It was like the grape apocalypse.
I had like Bob the Blob because it's the only thing my shaky ass hands could draw.
Yeah. Man, I still have that folder.
They got rid of our old Beyblade fighting ground called the Slides.
Beyblades
This-
at recess was crazy, bro.
The amount of things you remember when that one kid stole my thing and said he found it in his backyard at lunch and he lived like 5 kilometers away?
For
Yeah.
And
real,
everyone was like, there's no fucking way. And he denied that shit till the end of time.
Amy, isn't that like
It wasn't
literally
like
the same name?
It wasn't like any other Beyblade, right? This was around the time that like the Gen 2s were coming out, right? And Tim was like rolling the entire fucking playground with just Gravity Destroyer,
Yeah,
Easy
Gravity
W
Destroyer
every time.
was insane.
And the only thing that could match it was this random fucking custom I'd made on a whim. And it was the only thing that worked. And everyone wanted it, and then some kid stole it. I think his name was also Nick, like Nicholas or something. And he got caught out on it, and like...
Nico? Not Nico.
Not Nico, his name was like Nicholas something.
Nico was Andy's brother that everyone did like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
Nico
was
was
fun.
tolerable, Andy was
Nico
not.
showed me like iFunny back in grade 7 or 8 or something.
Yeah, before it went down the shithole.
Before it became like, yeah, that was like when it was like obscure app.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it just devolved into like a far right wing shithole.
Yeah, it became like a
Like a
cesspool for like
4chan.
racists, bro.
Jesus Christ. No, like this kid stole my fucking custom Beyblade and like, oh, that's a building. Right? And this was like 5th grade, right? Then it's like 2 years later, the last year I was there, I ran into the bathroom and I brought it up and like was laughing about it. Right? Like, you got caught stealing my shit, yada yada. He's like, I never stole it. He would not let that shit
Oh
go.
my gosh.
He was determined to lie till the very end. It was fucked. I was like, okay, buddy. Whatever you say.
Yeah. Grade 7, 8 memories are always like both
The most out of
funnest
pocket
and the,
we've been.
and the
Oh my
most
god.
painful for me to remember because
Tim,
I was one clueless motherfucker.
do you remember in the grade 8 band trip, when Nico slapped Emin in the face with lotion
Yeah.
at the back of the bus, and like Emin was like, later, like he for the rest of the bus ride, he was just crying because his face burned so bad from the like whatever like moisturizer was in that lotion.
I remember one time I'm in like cut his hand, and I was like, yeah, it's probably a good idea to put some like hand sanitizer on that, right? Like to disinfect it. I'm like, it's gonna burn, but it'll make it feel better. And he just had a thing going for the class. I don't know if you remember, but he just like kept getting up and going to the hand sanitizer at the front of the room and just like laying it on his cut.
Amin like actually had anxiety or something. Like he would
Yeah.
get so worried about things.
Yeah.
I wasn't even saying it like that. I was like, yeah, it hurts for a little bit, and then it starts to feel better. And he just like committed to the hand sanitizer, would not stop. There was also our
I just
buil-
had a suppressed memory surface.
our building block Beyblades. Indoor recess is
Tim?
prime activity.
Oh my god.
A repressed memory just surfaced for me.
Go on.
This was later on. This was like grade 8, October. And again, Truth or Dare with Alyssa and Jade.
Obviously.
And Alyssa starts hinting at something, and then just after a lot of beating around the bush, ends up like asking me if I like her. And the longest trying to avoid the question later, I just get up and leave. Because it was like 10 o'clock at night. But this was not like, this was not just like trying to find out, like, this was like a whole 20 minutes of trying to get closer to that topic.
And you were just like, nope.
But like, I was convinced it was like a prank. Because they had pulled that prank literally like days before.
I had 0 Riz in the FALLINGBROOK days.
I had my Riz.
It was like
On
after
one
school,
person.
and she said like her and Amin were dating or something.
Why is it
Oh, I think
always
I
a man?
remember this. She was
Why
like
was it
trying to
always a
see.
man?
She was trying to gauge your reaction to like her saying that she was with somebody else.
Why was it
Yeah,
always a min
and,
though?
like-
He did that shit to me too. Remember?
I just like I wasn't happy, but I wasn't pissed either.
You're not a reactionary. You're not
I'm
gonna be
not,
like,
I'm
what?
not the one who reacts like that. Except when she like left. I did react then.
Yeah. No, but like, yeah.
But
You remember when Paula left?
Oh god, his girlfriend got deported.
Yeah, so Amin, for context, Amin kind of had like a big crush and like was kind of seeing in like I guess
like
this was grade
exchange
7,
student.
some exchange student from Colombia. When she got sent back, he was so sad about it.
And it was the running gag among the group, like, your girlfriend got fucking deported, man.
We were so mean about that, but like really we were supportive, but like we were still making jokes.
We were just being guys, like, we were being assholes about it, but we were like, yeah, bro, that fucking sucks.
Yeah, that's just guys. You're like gonna fucking make fun of you, but
yeah,
in reality,
so,
we're there for you, man.
like, ironically, I think Alyssa sabotaged herself. Because I was convinced it was a prank, like 100% convinced.
Alyssa was always puppeteering the relationship drama.
So I just
I
like
think I was the only one who got
made
a
up
safety
some-
pass on that.
made up some excuse and left. Like that's like the second time I did that. Just something happens and I just leave because I'm uncomfortable, and that's what I did. If I got uncomfortable, I just fucking left.
I was like the only one who escaped Alyssa's like relationship bullshit because she moved schools because the daycare program ended in the 5th grade.
Like for like a few weeks, I had been like, I think it was in grade, yeah, it was in grade
It was
6.
Avery, wasn't it?
It was like me and Avery had like a thing. Like
thing
it's like
going.
not like really like a real thing, but like, you know, silly little feelings that you get in grade 6. And on Valentine's Day, I bought her like a little stuffed bear and some chocolate.
Oh yeah, you know all about that, wouldn't you, Ponky?
And I gave it to her in class, and she's like, "Oh, thank you, whatever." And then later that day, in the parking lot, or like behind the school, you know, like that green electrical box.
Yeah.
She told me to meet at the green electrical box, where she said, "Yeah, we're not boyfriend and girlfriend anymore." And then I'm like, "Oh, that sucks." Like I felt bad about it. But then I zero in on Alyssa hiding behind a tree over by the playground where that ravine was, and I'm like, I knew it was you. I knew it was her the whole time, bro. She was pulling the strings.
It worked out for you anyway, but still.
I
Yeah, no,
remember
it
Avery,
wasn't really anything,
in
but
grade
like,
7, Avery had this thing. I don't know why, but she started calling me her BFF. I do
Avery and I,
not,
like
for the
after
life
that,
of me, know why.
They were definitely convinced you were gay.
Yeah, yeah.
It's probably
Hey,
why.
bestie.
Sure, that was the theme.
bro. Avery and I had like weird
Is he
chemistry after
autistic
that.
or is he gay?
For grade 7 and 8, because Avery and I would always end up walking home together because we went the same way. It was only the two of us because Brendan had left. And we were the only two who lived that way, and like, we just had that like weird, like kind of also like, hey BFF, but not really. Like it was just like weird, awkward, flirty.
Yeah.
And because I had a big crush on Avery for like most of grade 7 too.
You invited her to like the Google Hangouts and
Like
everything.
I remember during the ski trip, I was like, I had a huge crush on her, and like she was always kind of flirty back, but nothing. Like this was like the one time ever that I didn't act on one of my crushes, because I'm a very.
What did we talk about Andy and Alyssa and not mention that bullshit that happened in the Hangouts call that one fucking time?
Hold on. But yeah, like you guys know me. If I've had a crush, I act on it.
Yeah.
I'm not a very
The
shy.
opposite of me.
I'm very
You tell us
confident.
first and
The
then
only
commit.
the only time that I never actually did anything about it was with Avery, and it kind of just faded away, which I'm
Yeah.
glad to, because I think we would have not.
Yeah.
She was a good friend, but like my failed.
I remember on the grade 7 ski trip, because like I'm actually not shit at skiing, unlike everyone else there.
The ski trip.
The ski trip, grade 7 in particular, not so much grade 8, because grade 8 was like not as fun. It was like Edelweiss. Good grade 7 ski trip was like some of the most weird chemistry that our class had with each other ever, because like everyone was having a really great time, but also because we were all going through puberty, like the hormones were just raging. Like everyone had a crush on somebody, and there were only 10 of us.
I was free.
Yeah.
I was
There were only
free.
10 of us, so it was a very, very complicated
Fuck,
like
that truck just exploded.
love dodecahedron or something like that.
Yeah.
Everybody had
So-
something going for like 3 different people.
So I remember this one time I pretended to fall asleep on the chairlift, and then Alyssa and Jade started talking about me in hushed whispers, and I just heard my name a couple times.
Yeah.
And I was suspicious of them for the rest of the year.
Like I
like-
was just minding my own business that whole trip, except for the time we thought Liam got lost and I went to go look for him and I sprained my fucking leg.
Yeah.
And I just spent the rest of the day in the fucking chalet playing Smash Bros on my 3DS with intermittent people.
Julian, you gotta act on your crushes. It didn't work for me like 20 times, but then it did. And when it did, boy did it ever work.
You got lucky. I'm gonna be real with you.
I won't deny that.
You escaped early.
Mm-hmm.
I will
The rest of
not
us are
deny.
still out here fighting for our fucking lives. You're like, I got it done in like second try, no problems.
Oh man.
Crushes in high school do exist, Julian.
They
I don't know what you're
absolutely do,
talking about.
Julian. You fuckwit.
High school is where the first actual crushes happen.
Yeah.
I
Dodeca.
like. I don't
had
know.
my thing going throughout
you
like
for
most of
appreciating
Fallingbrook and like half of Sir Will, right? Then I went out with like Eliana, I think it was, for like a couple of weeks.
For real, Julian. I mean, for real,
And that was it.
I just didn't do anything like that for the
Bro.
entirety of high school. I think
Gosh, bro.
like grade 7 and 8 gave me bad experiences.
I was too busy hanging out on Fortnite with Zeth, I'm gonna be honest.
In high school, it was like, for me, it was just like blunder after blunder in different ways. Like, I kept every time there was a girl like that I had something going on with, it became a lesson.
Yeah.
Like, the first one in grade 9, this girl, Enos, had a, like, now I
Ah,
didn't
yes.
realize it at first, but she had a crush on me. She asked me out. She was, like, not asked me out directly, but she was like, hey, do you want to go for lunch
Wink, wink,
sometime?
nudge, nudge.
And I was like, okay. Like, I didn't realize anything.
Fucking
And-
Tim Blunder.
I don't remember what it was, but I said something probably weird and awkward because it was grade 9, and what neurodivergent boy doesn't say something weird and awkward to a girl in grade 9? And she,
Yeah.
like, very soon after that did not want to talk to me anymore, and
then
we did
didn't
not
you start
speak ever
going out
again.
with her friend,
Yeah, like
Haley or something.
Kaylee, I had a thing for Kaylee, and like we went out a couple times, and then
Like,
it didn't go. It didn't. No, Kaylee Osborne.
Yeah.
But that didn't go anywhere. That kind of just ended like in mutual friendship. That was just like, yeah,
Yeah.
whatever. And she ended up. She started dating that Calvin guy, and they're still together.
Yeah.
They've been dating since like grade 10. Who else? I have a long list of.
There was Jess. I know that much.
Oh yeah, Jess was a big one.
Oh
Jess was
my
like,
gosh.
I was like,
That
you
was-
guys remember
that was
how
painful for us.
how bad it
Painful for
was.
everyone.
I was very down bad for her because like I was so convinced that she liked me because she was so flirty. But then like just no, I don't want to date anyone, and then proceeds to date Kai like a week later, and I was destroyed. It took me like a full year to get over her.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys remember.
And it was like painful for us because we knew that it wasn't.
It wasn't gonna cut it. Or like, oh, fuck.
You guys knew it wasn't going anywhere, and I kept getting like false hopes.
Yeah.
That's what the worst part about it was. It's just I kept getting strung along with false hopes. And then like there were like I think maybe like a couple minor things. Like there was like Faya. Faya liked me, and then I went out. I was like I didn't really have a huge. I didn't really like. I thought she was nice, so I
You were
agreed.
along the lines of like, fuck it, we'll try it and see how it goes.
Yeah,
And
I
you
was just
didn't.
I agreed to go with Faya, but then she was late to her own first date, so I was like, yeah,
Wow!
fuck
Doesn't
this.
that remind me of you?
Yeah. Hey, I was on time for. I'm on time for dates. She
You're
wasn't
not
on time.
for your own
Hello there.
fucking parties, though.
It was her plan, and she was late for it. See, Tamara, the list is long, but none of them were successful until like kind of Lizzie, and then you.
Like, they were mostly just like
They were-
one-off spats.
They were like short, like 2, 3, 4 dates, followed by, like 2, 3, 4 dates followed by like a rejection. I only want to be friends. I'm stuck. There was like Elizabeth Germain, like that was a bad one too. Jess and Elizabeth Germain were like the two ones
I don't
that I
know.
got fucked up over. Elizabeth Germain was like a girl I met at Farm Boy, and like we were hanging out.
yes.
Yeah,
We
I
were
remember
hanging out a
this, I
lot.
remember
Like she
this.
would pick me up, and like all of us, we were convinced that like I had the green flag.
Yeah, every single one of us here.
It was like every green flag was up. There wasn't a
Yep.
like there was a maybe like a neutral flag, but like no red flags. And then I like asked her out, and she was like, whatever. I'm not looking to date. And I was like, what? What do you mean you don't like me? What are you talking about? I remember I was at Uncle Denis' house that day, and that fucked me up.
We were talking about it afterwards, and we're like, what?
Yeah, and then
Yeah,
like after
was
that,
moving.
I kind of was like, you know what, I'm just gonna stop trying things. And then I met Ponky, and then through Ponky, I met
You
Lizzie.
met Lizzie.
And then the Lizzie thing was like 2 months of us like seeing each other, and like I went to see her twice. But then like she was being too wishy-washy about it, so I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna end this right here before I get like hurt again. And then at the same time, I was building a friendship with somebody named Tamara. And I'm still dating Ponky.
Still dating Bonky. Okay. I had a total of like 3 things.
You had like the
Yeah.
one big thing you had at the FALLINGBROOK day.
I was with Sabrina for like 6 years, and then that just like abruptly ended. That still fucking like annoys me,
Where's my car?
right? That's like, that still pisses me off to this day of like, how the fuck?
It's in the stupid hell.
Then I had that long distance thing with that one girl once. I told you about it, right? Like I wound up next to you at Subway, and I was like, check it out.
I ended up with a long distance thing mostly by accident.
Yeah, that was like a pure accident. We can
Yeah.
blame Exotrix for it all we want.
Yeah.
I don't know where
I guess
Exotrix finds these people.
I just wasn't
Yeah,
a dick, and all of
Tamara-
her previous boyfriends were dicks.
Yeah, Eradiker was kind of an asshole, honestly.
Tamara-
That guy's fucking awesome, but he was like a massive asshole at
So
that
to
point.
interrupt you guys, but yeah, the day that I met up for lunch with Tamara, I spent the whole time texting Ponky because he was asking me about his experiment that you may or may not know the fucking details.
Is that the
of.
thing that we brought up yesterday in the game chat? Like,
Yes.
didn't we?
He kept asking in Overwatch
He's been
chat.
on about that for this long. Someone said in the fucking autism meme. Jesus Christ.
The Wojak, bro.
He's on about this for that long.
Yeah, what can you say? Bro's curious.
Fucking plane ticket to Lithuania if you want to know that bad.
Ponky can tell you, Jordan. I'm not saying that shit on stream.
Oh shit! It's pinned in Overwatch chat if you really want to look. Ah, Christ alive.
Is this dead end? Let's get back to Fallingbrook. We gotta stay on the subject.
We got slightly
On the
off
subject,
topic.
like I said, we had to branch out a little bit to like end off the arcs.
Yeah, we're like relatively on topic.
Yeah, we started with like Fallingbrook relationships, right? Like that, like the Nick Yurt thing. I was hanging out with Sabrina on the top of the fucking monkey bars, and we're like, "Holy fuck, he's not moving." Again, for some reason, Amin was also involved in a mild bit of relationship drama in that department as well.
Oh,
Amin
my
and
God.
Sarah had like the weirdest chemistry through
Yeah.
the day, bro.
I don't know what that was. I don't know why Amin was involved in like everything.
Amin had
There's a
race,
problem. Amin
bro.
was there somewhere. If it was a relationship thing, Alyssa had a hand in it, and Amin was probably there too.
Amin had and still does. He's always had Riz. Out of everyone, this man is unstoppable. I gained my Riz after high school. And now I can't use it because I'm locked in.
I'll take it off your hands, don't mind me.
I have Schrodinger's Riz. I don't know if it's there or not.
Yeah, Tim's Riz was always just like, he's got girls liking him, but he just doesn't realize it till it's too late.
Mine's more like I tend to weave it into conversations, but I take too fucking long and they think we're just friends. But it always like weaves in there. It's like perfection at its best. You're like, God damn, it's perfect.
I just noticed, how long has my music been paused because of Discord?
We've been having the conversation the whole time. We didn't notice.
It's really annoying.
He's asking about his experiment while Josh is trying to use fucking Riz.
I'm gonna cut the stream off at midnight. We're making this a double just Joshin because last
Yeah.
week's episode was
Oh,
canceled.
Jesus Christ, man. That's so fucking funny. I was asking about that the whole time. Why am I still laughing
Ponky.
at that? It's like the dumbest shit I've ever heard. There's the one time, I don't remember if it was Sir Will or Fallingbrook. Tim was over at my house, and you got your fucking, your braces installed, right?
Yeah.
And you called us. We were like doing something at my place, like, cause I think his sister was doing something. We were just over. You called me
True to me.
specifically.
Yeah.
You called me specifically because it was in relation to Spider-Man, and you were still like off your fucking rockers with like painkillers. And Tim was there, and I put you on speaker, and we're like, "Yo, what's up?" And you're like, "Bro, these fucking Spider-Man noodles are going crazy," and we're like, "Those are alphabet."
What?
You're like, "What?"
It is you two in particular that have like experienced me on every single kind of high that I can experience.
Yeah.
One day I'm gonna try shrooms, and you two will be the first people I call.
We were on the bus on the way back from fucking Spider-Man, and you're telling us about how fucking you electrified your fingers on fucking edibles. Losing our shit in the back of the bus.
Oh my god. You guys are my four lifers. You gotta hear about this shit first. Funky says Canoe on shrooms would be no different.
Honestly,
Canoe on shrooms would just be
probably right.
me after like 2 a.m.
It's a performance enhancer. It just lets him ramble on about a topic for slightly longer.
What was I gonna say? I had something. It's gone now.
The shrooms got him.
God.
No, you
Damn
were
it.
telling us about how we needed to be on topic, and then I like got sidetracked about the fucking alphabets thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude, like, hung up
I had
that
like
call and we're just, like,
something
wheezing.
Fallingbrook related. Oh, I guess it's not during the Fallingbrook era, like, but the first time that any of us got drunk, ever, and not you, Brennan,
Oh.
because you don't drink, but Tim and I, the first time
Free.
we ever drank with friends, we
Yeah.
decided it had to be with the Fallingbrook boys, because who
Yeah.
else? So all of us.
Not that I didn't want to drink at
Yeah.
that time, is I literally couldn't because I got my fucking wisdoms out.
Yeah, so we like all of us just like didn't even know what to get. We all just like went and bought like stuff. Like some of us had coolers, some of us had like ciders.
Summersides, whatever the fuck.
Yeah, it was Summersby. So we just meet up each of us with like 6 or 8 drinks each. And we go to Aiden's house and order a pizza and just sit in the backyard and drink and eat for like 4 hours.
The
Just
pizza was mostly
putting
mine
them
because I
down.
couldn't partake in the drinking, and I was like trying to fight my way through pizza
Yeah.
slices. With
We
my
were just
fucked up
like
teeth.
slowly getting more and more drunk, and it was so great because none of us had ever drank with friends before. Like maybe Amin had, but like Nikki,
No,
Aiden,
we had
Tim,
when
and
we were
I
at
hadn't.
Tim's house the one time, and Tim's dad stole your alcohol from the
That
room.
was after. That was
Yeah.
after that.
Yeah.
This
No,
was
then
the
you-
there-
yeah. This was the first time any of us like actually had drinks
No, it
with
wasn't.
other
You were
people.
underage at the time, right? I was definitely overage because I was living here at this point.
Oh no, yeah. Maybe it was the first time we were all drinking together legally then.
As like a bunch
Yeah.
of Fallingbrook people.
Okay,
legally,
yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
It was definitely after. But anyways, so we were at Aiden's house just having our drinks, and all of us got pretty like even Aiden, like all of us were pretty. I wouldn't say wasted, but like we were like
You were feeling
we were
it.
tipsy. We were feeling it for sure. Especially
I
Tim.
I was the worst because I had just
He had not paced himself. Bro was putting them down. And so we had decided, you know what? We're right near Fallingbrook. Let's go back to the old playground and have a race on the 100-meter track. So we all go.
At this point
I think we still have
because I had to go
videos of
back.
this.
yeah.
And it was just like a blast from the past, but drunk. It was so much fun. Amin is just screaming like he used to on Google Hangouts calls. We all go running down the
Nick was always
track.
doing something different on Hangouts. We'd all be playing Minecraft. You'd just be playing fucking FIFA.
Yeah, we would all be playing Minecraft, like, or Mineplex or Deadwing server, and we'd just be playing, like, Far Cry or FIFA and screaming far away in the back.
But like, what the fuck is he doing?
But anyway, so we all run down the track, and, like, right as we finish, Tim's like, I won, and then just runs to the bushes and fucking barfs.
Yeah.
I heard about this after, and I was like, man, I missed it.
Yeah, it was a
And I
good
was so
time.
happy because like I had won by quite a bit, and then it just hit me.
It's like, wait a minute.
Like,
did
the
it too.
sweet,
Oh, shit.
the sweet
I had
thing
had-
about, like,
I
all
had
the
had, I
Fallingbrook
think it was
guys...
7 coolers over 30 minutes.
Oh Christ.
Yeah, you had put them down. Like, you drank the
And
same
We
amount
were
of time
asking
in
you,
an
like,
hour
are you
as
sure
we
you're
had
okay?
in,
You're
like,
I'm
3.
fine, I'm fine.
And like this was before I like had basically any exposure to this. So
Beyond the one time we were doing trivia at your house, and we were like chugging back fucking Crantinis like there was no tomorrow.
yeah, that,
And
that
you're like
was all.
trying to do Jeopardy, like wasted off your mind.
I wasn't that bad. It was just slightly harder to stand up.
Yeah, you fell on me.
Okay,
Yeah, like
that
I
was
say-
later. That was after Jeopardy.
The very nice thing about, like, the Fallingbrook squad is, like, even though the years have really just gone by, like kind of like no tomorrow, every time that we meet up, it's, like, awkward for 3 seconds, and then it's right back to how we always were.
Yeah.
Like, all of us have very much gone our own way. Like Tim's got his big boy software jobs. I'm still at Fallingbrook. Brennan's doing his printer shit. Amin's like, I don't even know. He's taking a year off school. He's got
He
his
was
like,
doing like car washing.
yeah,
wasn't
he's
he?
doing his car detailing business.
Yeah.
Nikki's still at Carlton.
He was working at
Um,
like Freshco, I think, not the one up here, but like by Landmark, whatever that store was.
Aiden's at Sheridan studying like graphic design, which is so fitting of him.
Yeah, it's like classic.
And
Thank
then
luck I didn't listen to Aiden and I recorded that realm
I know
because we
and
needed
then
the recreation, and it was like, thank God I'm the only one who had the sense to film everything.
Damien rest his soul. Like, no matter what though, when we get the boys together, it's just like old times. it's like that bond cannot be broken. It doesn't matter. We just went through hell and back together.
Been everywhere.
10 years for some of us.
Yeah.
For most. For most, it's been like 8 to 6, but for some of you, it was 10.
For Aiden, I've known
You,
Aiden.
Nikki, and someone.
Aiden and I knew each other since before, even because my mom would babysit. Like I've known Aiden since like pre-JK, so that's.
You guys used to babysit him in, and I used to just come over all the time and hang out with
If
everyone.
I'm turning 21 in in 3 weeks, how old was I in JK? Like I was 3. This was like that's like, holy fuck, dude. I've known Aiden since I was 3, and I'm turning 21 soon.
We've known each other since we were like 4.
Grade 1, we would have been 5.
You'd have been
Yeah,
4,
I would have been
like.
I would have been 5.
You'd have been 4, wouldn't you? I would have been 5.
No, SK
You would
I
have been
was
turning 5.
No, because JK was 3-4, SK was 4-5, grade 1 was 5-6. I was 5 when we met.
Yeah, that was like the weirdest stroke of luck ever. Just singles out the one kid like you.
Yeah, and Brendan lived across the street from me.
And like, damn, you live this way too? Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
We had good
It's like,
times.
oh,
One time,
shit.
we built a campfire in in Leona's driveway. We burned cupcake wrappers. We had a full fire going. It left like a black spot on the pavement. I think Tim was there for that too.
Yeah, I was.
And
There
we
was
used
fire. There was Tim.
we used little pieces of 2x4 as the barrier for our
Oh,
fire, so they were
fuck.
just on
You
fire
remember-
too.
You know those 2 older girls that got assigned to me because I was a behavioral problem in the 1st grade?
No.
Yeah.
Like, who the fuck are these guys? And
And
eventually, like, they weren't assigned to me anymore, but like until like the 3rd or 4th grade, they kept showing up and we're like, oh fuck no!
I remember for written assignments at FALLINGBROOK, you had that like green keyboard thing with a tiny LCD.
I got it taken away because we were fucking around with the thesaurus and Miss
Yeah, you got it
Mackenzie's
taken away because you were just using it to look up bad words. Like I remember just us losing our minds because your little
over the
LCD
bad words in the little
screen.
fucking thesaurus.
Your LCD screen just displaying the definition of bastard, and we're just losing our minds. And Miss Mackenzie's just like, "Give me that right now."
And then their decision afterwards was to give me a laptop.
They gave you something that's so much worse.
The worst leap in judgment they could have made. He's looking up bad words in class on the thesaurus
Let's give him a
instead of like
laptop.
typing his shit. Let's give him a laptop connected to the internet and see how that goes.
And then, of course, the story with me and hacking all the school computers. But I told that like last episode,
Yeah.
so I won't tell it again. But that was good times. Miss Power
Oh,
catching me, bro.
Oh god, no.
And then, like, you showed me how to do it, and I just did it to everything at Sir Will.
Yeah, at
Yeah.
Sir Will, we had like so many library
The
computers.
Sir Will IT guy hated me because of the broadcasting lab, right? He was fully willing to toss out like most of the equipment in there, the printer included, and I was like, are you fucking stupid? You could just replace this part for like $20. And he'd be like really mad at me because I'm like telling him how to do his job, and then miraculously the thing would work next week. And it's like,
Yeah.
damn, I wonder what happened.
Yeah, I landed in Spock's car. Alright, we're at 3 minutes here, so we're gonna start wrapping up. I think we've covered most of the bases of FALLINGBROOK
Covered
story.
everything at all. No
It's
way.
impossible to talk about everything. You'd
Okay.
need like a
We didn't
series.
cover the Andy Alyssa thing that happened in the Hangouts call. I think we can touch that one over briefly. We didn't conclude the Andy story arc or the Liam story arc. Like there's
Yeah.
too many things. We
There's
left
just so
unfinished.
much. We told the big stories though. So.
Okay, so what exactly happened on the Andy Alyssa call? I know Andy said something stupid, and Amin just like called her, and like they just fought over like phone speaker and Hangout
Andy,
speaker.
Andy said he liked Alyssa or something like that.
Yeah. And then he went
oh.
and, like spoiled it.
Yeah, and then it was like a whole thing.
I don't remember enough about what happened with that.
There was also the ending of the Andy story arc where he like got embarrassed on the fucking like Sir Will football fields by myself, oddly enough, put on like a shit ton of weight, and then just never was seen again.
Okay, I
Liam
remember
got like
the
kicked
the
out of
call.
his house, moved to Halifax, and became a woman. I think.
Oh yeah, I actually forgot. Liam transitioned. I don't know what they go by
Into.
now.
I don't know what into.
I don't know what they go by now, but
I just
we
they
haven't
do went by
spoken.
Stellar last I knew, right?
Yeah.
Like they pop in and out. I totally forgot about that because like
I forget
it
about
was
it too.
well
until I start
after
talking about it,
well
I'm like,
after they
wait a
moved
minute.
away.
Yeah, right. Like he got kicked out of his house, was like homeless, transitioned. It was like the fuck happened.
Yeah,
to
the
you?
Fallingbrook people, like the we'll talk about like just before we end like what happened to everybody. So you guys know the three of us. I already talked about what happened to the boys.
Yeah.
Software
English kids,
engineering,
I don't even
furniture
know.
Repair, and
Lachlan is
farm
in the
boy.
military now. Ethan, I think, also is in the military.
Ethan the pillow humper.
The other Ethan Hinterberger.
I remember
Alyssa,
Ethan
like
Hinterberger.
also like had like some
Lachlan
crazy
like
shit.
broke
He
his
came out
hand
as
over an
gay.
argument with Ethan Hinterberger too.
I don't know where Sophie is. I think she's at U Ottawa,
Sarah
Yeah.
aged
Cass-
like 40 years in the span of 5.
but she's doing well.
Yeah.
She seems to be doing well. Cassidy, think like Amin told us he became a sex addict.
I dodged a
I'm pretty
bullet.
sure we've
I
seen.
dodged a bullet.
I'm pretty
Avery's
sure
still
we've
doing
seen
well.
it
She's doing, like,
literally
dance.
every single one of the Fallingbrook girls on Tinder.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. We were at the fucking Bonky party and we stumbled across like 6 different Fallingbrook girls on Tinder and we're like, what?
Oh yes,
There's
I
only
have
6
to
in
talk
total.
about.
No, there's only
Remember-
7 in total.
So, if you guys remember, Capture the Flag was like the most heated shit ever at Fallingbrook. Did you remember the
Always.
one Capture the Flag where Lachlan was
Lachlan
fighting over
broke his
Lena?
hand.
He punched the wall.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was
He
fighting
punched the
over Lena
wall.
with Ethan Hinterberger.
Yeah,
I
it was
think that's
Ethan
what
and
it was.
Ethan Hinterberger like insulted him or something and was like, "You'll never be with Lena" or something like that. And this was like shortly after they broke up, and he got so mad he punched the wall and broke one of his metacarpals.
He had like a
Yeah.
broken hand, and then just to add insult to injury, there was the thing in the gymnasium where I just like insulted his entire fucking relationship line in like 2 seconds. The point where he just left.
Uh,
But yeah, so thank you everybody for tuning in today to Just Joshin. This was our double feature-length special episode to make up for last week being missing. I hope we entertained you with our very interesting childhood lore. And thanks, Brendan and Tim, for tuning in. It was a good day to do it because it's Saturday.
Yeah.
You know, Tim, you don't
Saturday
have to,
on
Sundays
the long
you have to
weekend
work.
too.
Yeah, and the long weekend. Yeah, the long weekend special. But yeah, so that's it for today's episode. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Good night, chat. I hope I'll see you next
Jesus.
Sunday. There should be an episode next Sunday. I don't think
Oh, my head hurts. I'm laughing too much. God damn.
I'll wrap it up
Oh,
here.
you remember that shit, John? Just, like real quick before we ended off, the camera on the fucking book stand recording Vice City while we're losing our shit.
Oh
on the
yeah,
Like,
That
I
was
had
so
like,
funny.
a massive headache.
going over to your house just to like play like GameCube. Good times.
Jesus Christ.
All right. Good night, chat. Let's
Night.
See ya, chat.